Determining the Sub-Saharan African country most similar to Europe requires considering various social, cultural, economic and political factors. One way to answer this complex question is by analyzing the data from the Country Similarity Index. The index factors in demographics, culture, politics, infrastructure and geography. An analysis of the statistics shows that South Africa is by far the most similar country in Sub-Saharan Africa to Europe. On the other end of the spectrum, Eritrea and Somalia are the least similar. It has the highest percentage of people in Sub-Saharan Africa with European ancestry at 8%. However, it had once been as high as 20%. African countries tend to have young populations, but South Africa's median age is 28 years old, the highest in the region. Furthermore, South Africa's average education and income levels are among the highest in Sub-Saharan Africa. Unlike most African countries, the majority of its people work in the service sector, not agriculture. The roots of South Africa's westernization can be traced back to the colonial era. The arrival of the Dutch, followed by the British and other European settlers, introduced foreign customs to South Africa. Over time, they imposed their cultural norms, institutions, and governance systems on the indigenous communities. As a result, the vast majority of people in South Africa are now Christian. Furthermore, most of the population can speak an Indo-European language, either English or Afrikaans. Countries in Europe tend to have lower rates of marriage than Sub-Saharan African countries. However, South Africa's rate is more in line with European nations. Furthermore, South Africa stands as a unique exception within Africa when it comes to political stability and democracy. The country has managed to avoid the tumultuous cycle of coup d'etat that many other African nations have experienced. Since apartheid, it has held democratic elections. Like many European nations, South Africa has freedom of journalism. Unlike many African nations, it has relatively liberal laws more in line with most Western countries. It allows same-sex marriage and abortion. In addition, it prohibits polygamy. In Sub-Saharan Africa, infrastructure is not nearly as well developed as in Europe. However, South Africa has some of the best infrastructure on the continent. The country has the second highest number of vehicles per capita in the region, behind only Botswana. It also has by far the most frequently used passenger railroad system in Sub-Saharan Africa. Generally speaking, European countries tend to have cooler climates than Sub-Saharan African countries, since South Africa is at the continent's southernmost point and much of its land is at a high elevation. It has the coolest average temperature in Africa, with the exception of Lesotho. In fact, during the winter months, some areas of South Africa get snow. South Africa's urbanization level gives it a more modern and developed feel that somewhat resembles European urban environments. Cities like Johannesburg and Cape Town are more developed than many other African cities. So, which country in Europe is most similar to South Africa? The Country Similarity Index suggests that Ireland and the United Kingdom are the most similar European countries to South Africa. South Africa was once a British colony, so English is widely spoken in these nations. They also drive on the left side of the road. Furthermore, rugby is popular in all these countries. Please like and subscribe to the Objective Lists channel, as there will be even more interesting videos coming soon. For more insights and analysis, please visit objectivelists.com for new and thought-provoking articles about our world.